Time for a look at the Simulated Baseball League results for Saturday, October 18th. This is the second day of the simulations and the first of the 3 rounds of simulations for the day. On this particular scoreboard, we have a 12-game abbreviated schedule to tell you about, 3 short of the 15 maximum. 7 games on the National League side, which is the original 16 clubs in Major League Baseball history, and 5 on the American League side, which is where the expansion era clubs are playing. The Red Sox and White Sox playing their 3rd game against one another, and Boston gets a 5-3 victory. Derek Lowe from the 2002 Red Sox is the winner, 1-0 over Joe Horlen from the 1964 White Sox. And Koji Uehara from the 2013 World Champion Red Sox is credited with save number 1. John Valentin from the 95 Red Sox and Frank Thomas from the 94 White Sox, each with home run number 1. The Indians take the second, well, they've played their 3rd game, I should say. They take the second of 3 from the Yankees. So Cleveland's won 2 of the first 3 in that series. They win at 9-2. Check that, 10-2. 10-2 Cleveland at New York. 1956 Herb Score with the Cleveland win. What an interesting line score for Score. 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, and the 2 hits were the only 2 home runs in the game, hit by 2 Yankees. Babe Ruth with number 4 and Roger Maris with number 2. The Yankee loss to Andy Pettitte from 1997, he's 0-1, and there were no Cleveland home runs in the game. The Dodgers take their 3rd straight from the Tigers, 5-1 the final in Detroit. Earl Hershiser from the 85 Dodgers is the winner at 1-0, and the loss to Mark Fidrych from the 1976 Tigers. And a save for Eric Gagne from the 2003 Dodgers. No homers in this game. Braves edge the Giants 8-4, so they've now taken 2 of 3 at Atlanta. Warren Spahn from the 53 Braves is the winner at 1-0. The loss to Bill Swift from the 93 Giants. And Craig Kimbrell save number 2. Home runs for the Braves. Davey Johnson from the 73 Braves hit a pair, numbers 1 and 2. Ron Gant from the 1990 Braves hit number 1. For San Francisco, Orlando Cepeda from the 1961 Giants, and Buster Posey from the 2012 Giants, each with home run number 1 in a losing cause. The Orioles and Athletics play in their 4th game against one another, and Baltimore pulls even to split the series with a 6-2 victory. Dave McNally from the 68 Orioles, the win, 1-0. A complete game 5 hitter, and the loss for Oakland to Bob Welch from the 1990 A's. Welch, of course, won 27 games for that club. Home runs for Baltimore, Eddie Murray hit number 3. Jose Canseco from the 1988 A's with number 1 and 2 on the young simulation season. And the Cubs hand the Pirates another loss, 8-2, the final in this one. The Cubs have now taken 3 straight in that series. And Mark Pryor from 2003, the win. And the loss for Pittsburgh is charged to Rick Rhoden from the 1986 Pirates. The Cubs hit a lot of home runs. Sammy Sosa from 2001, a pair, numbers 1 and 2. Andre Dawson from 1987, a pair, numbers 1 and 2. And Ernie Banks hit number 1. Banks playing on the 59 Cubs. No home runs for Pittsburgh in the game. The Cardinals and Reds open a series with one another. And Cincinnati wins it 4-3 in 12. Jeff Shaw is the winner from the 97 Reds. And the Cardinal loser is Bobby Shantz. He was a Cardinal. In 1963, Shantz with the loss, 0-1. Tony Perez hit 2 home runs for Cincinnati, numbers 1 and 2. Perez from the 69 Reds. And the second of those was a game winner. Mark McGwire, number 3 for the Cardinals. On to the American League side, the expansion era teams. And the Astros and Rangers get together at Arlington, 7-2. Astros with the victory. Rangers playing just their 3rd game as they open with just a 2-game series, unlike everybody else. The Houston win to Pete Harnisch from the 91 Astros. Harnisch is 1-0, and the Texas loss to John Matlack. He pitched for Texas in 1978. Berkman hit number 2 for Houston. And Rafael Palmeiro from the 99 Rangers hit number 1. The Padres, after 3 losses at New York, win the 4th and final game of that series, the final 6-3. And in that game, Matt Latos from the 2010 Padres knocks off Sid Fernandez from the Mets. And in the simulated league, Fernandez representing the Mets from 1992. And the Padres will get a save for Trevor Hoffman from 1998. That's save number 1 for Hoffman. And no homers in that game in New York. The Brewers and the Blue Jays in Toronto to open a series. And the Brewers get a 10-4 victory. And the winning pitcher, Chris Bosio for Milwaukee. Bosio pitching for the Brewers in 1989. And the Toronto loss, Pat Henkin from 1996. Home runs, Ben Ogilvy, number 1. Ogilvy from 1980. Ryan Braun. Braun representing the Brewers from 2011. And Tommy Harper, who was on the Brewers in 1970. And all 3 with home run number 1 for Milwaukee. For Toronto, Lloyd Moseby from 1984 and Roberto Alomar from 1991 with home runs, number 1 for both of those players. The Mariners get a 3-1 victory over the Nationals in Seattle, and that's the Mariners' first win. I'm going to try to say this name 5 times before I get it right. Hisashi Iwakuma from the 2013 Mariners is the winner at 1-0. J.J. Putz from the 2007 Mariners, the save. And Steven Strasburg from the 2013 Nationals is the loser at 0-1. And home runs on both sides for Seattle. Edgar Martinez of 1995 for Washington. Anthony Rendon of 2014. Both players with home run number 1 on the simulated season. And finally, the Rays pick up a 7-5 win over the Marlins. It was their third matchup against one another. Tampa Bay finally salvaging a game in that matchup. And so your winning pitcher, Jeremy Hellickson from the 2011 Rays, and the loss to Alex Fernandez, who pitched for the Marlins in 1997. Fernando Rodney of the 2012 Rays is credited with save number 1, and in the home run department, Carlos Pena, number 1 for Tampa Bay. Pena from the 2007 Rays. Gary Sheffield at number 1 for the Marlins. Sheffield played for them in '96. And that's the wrap of the simulations for Saturday, October 18, the second day of the simulated season, the first of the 3 simulation rounds. We'll have more later.